gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Afromat Show. I'm your host, Afromat, and today is the 26th of September, and I know it's late, and I'm recording this at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday so that I'm not more late. There's no excuse for why I'm late, and I apologize for that. That being said, let's just get cooking. Let's just get right into it. I don't really have any anecdotes. Actually, you know what? I do have one anecdote, and this is for a single person specifically. I was at a Chipotle type store where they scoop items into a bowl for you to eat, and the lady was scooping, and the guy behind in the kitchen looked at her and shouted from across the room, "Hey, watch those scoops. Like, you're giving too much." He's like, "You're going to put me behind on the grill." And of course I got angry because I'm like, "Dude, you're fucking up my scoops, man. Like, these are my scoops." So of course she scoops and then she shakes the ladle, and then a million pieces fall off, and then she puts a tiny little scoop, and I'm like, "Is that guy always a dick like that to her?" I said that. I literally said that. "Is that guy always an asshole?" And she's like, "Yeah, he drinks a lot of coffee," which I wasn't too sure what that meant, but I'm like, "Oh, okay." Um, so yeah, he's worried about being put behind on grill. So I get the chicken, and then I go sit outside on the patio, and who do I see out there smoking a cigarette? The same dude who said he was scared to be put behind on grill. Those people infuriate me because they push all the work onto someone else, and like, God forbid he has to actually work and do his job harder. Like, God forbid he actually has to work the grill because she's giving a little bit of extra scoops per her scoop. That just infuriated me. I just wanted to get that off my chest before I explode with rage. Yeah, let's get started here on the news. We have some good news. Yeah, let's just get started here. I forgot to play the whatever. Let's do it. The news. Dude, I never do these super early. The news. Let's get into it. So my favorite strike of all time has come to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, the Writers Guild strike, the AFTA-SWASTA Writers Guild of America, whoever the fuck, they've stopped striking. Hollywood writers reach tentative deal after studios make 5-month strike. Screenwriters in major Hollywood studios have reached a tentative 3-year deal, which, if ratified, would end one of the strikes that has ground Hollywood to a halt. "We can say with great pride that the deal is exceptional," the Writers Guild of America wrote in a letter to its members, "with meaningful gains and protections for writers in every sector of the membership." So what I like about the writer's strike is, honestly, I don't know how there's this many writers to strike. Like I write. I'm working on a little novel, fiction. But there's no way in hell I would ever strike. Like, ever. For writers, we'll get to it later. There are some strikes. I actually am a huge supporter of strikes. I think that strikes are good. But I don't believe in the writer's strike because I believe that writers are fake. They have fake jobs and they are fake people, living out their little fake fantasy lives. Writers are the truly exceptional writers, the ones who deserve to be paid, are so far and few between that um, a strike of meaningful writers would actually probably only encapsulate about 14 people. There are 14 people on this planet who write great fiction. Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese. Uh, there's like Brandon Sanderson who makes a fiction novels, stuff like that. Like there are so few writers. The guy who made Breaking Bad, that guy. Like these writers are so far and few between that I saw this. This kind of puts a capstone on it. The people, they had a whole day during the strike where people who played D&D showed up to the writer's strike to strike. So you're talking about these people who write missions for D&D, Dungeons and Dragon characters to go on, showed up to the strike. So they are striking, and they played like a giant game of D&D where God knows what happens there. God, the smells. But yeah, I mean, and my main gripe with the writer's strike is that the writers suck. Like usually you have to read the room and be like, "Oh, I deserve a raise." Like when you ask for a raise, you have to like say, "Oh, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm helping you. This is how much money you're making off of me. I think I deserve so and so raise." Right? That's how I did it when I asked for a raise, right? I said, "This is how much I'm doing. This is how productive I am. This is the percentage at which I'm converting, right? And this is the price of gas, and I commute 30 minutes." And I said, "I deserve I think I said 15% raise," and I got it. The writers, if they stacked up all the evidence, I think that they would be put on a firing squad. It's like, okay, the writers line up all their stuff. Okay, so here we are. We made Snow White, which cost you $4 billion. We helped you make the new whatever the fuck. Like just name a show, and I guarantee you it's lost money. It's exceptional, the ego on some of these people. Like I would be embarrassed. I would be embarrassed to be a writer, and then someone asks, "Oh, what do you write on?" And then they say, "Oh, I write for Jimmy Fallon." I would be embarrassed to say that. Oh man, speaking of Jimmy Fallon, I gotta say this is one of the worst things to come from this strike. Jimmy Fallon and his comrades have joined to help the strike, and they've made a podcast called, what is their podcast called? The Daily Strike or something? I mean, this is truly an abomination.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon.
Strike Force 5, introducing late night talk show hosts Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, and John Oliver are teaming up for a new podcast to support their striking writers and out-of-work staff. Strike Force 5 welcomes you to a conversation between 5 rival colleagues to get an inside look at night television. And you might ask yourself, who wants to watch a podcast about 5 of the most boring and retarded people on the planet? And your answer is actually no one, because these are the most famous night show people, late night people, and this was posted August 30th, and it has 16,000 views. Let's see.
One more time, Jimmy.
Their newest podcast that came out 3 days ago has 4,000 views. 4,000 views, and this shows you how many people actually like. Let's listen to this. Let's just skip somewhere in the middle.
As I recall, John, on your first show, which featured Gillian Anderson as your first guest, she castigated you for those very radio spots.
That's exactly right. She did. It was the first week. She's somebody that I had co-starred in a movie.
I mean, they want to be funny so bad. They really do. But they don't realize that they've been castrated for so long Like literally, I think Jimmy Fallon may actually have donated his balls to Black Lives Matter. I don't know. Like I think Stephen Colbert may have vaxxed his cock to where it got gangrene. Like he has. I don't know how these people have careers. I don't know who's first off. I don't know who's watching them because like when's the last time you ever heard anyone say? I honestly don't know any single person who could name all five of these people. Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth, and also where's that fat fuck? Isn't he a late night person? What's his name? The British guy. Let's see what the comments say. Colbert is the dad, Myers is the mom, Oliver is the uncle, and the Jimmys are the uncontrollable children. I mean, Christ, this person. Thank you so much for lifting our spirits. Take care of yourselves. You're loved. Also, I love that Jimmy Fallon's like a crazy drunk behind the scenes. He's like I heard a story that he took everyone out to a bar or like karaoke night or whatever, and he was like singing up on. Let's see if I can find it. He was like yelling at people. Jimmy Fallon drunk. He's a crazy alcoholic, and it's kind of sad, but a toxic on-set behavior. Here he is. Top of the world should have been somebody else. Believe it or not, that's fine. Oh man, he is wasted out of his mind. Yeah, no, but apparently he's like gets just drunk all the time. I would not be surprised if he's drunk on set and they hit him with a Narcan or something. But let's see. Disney CEO Bob Iger, Warner Brothers Discovery CEO Dave Zaslav, and Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos, and the Universal Pictures chief content producer Donna Langley attended bargaining sessions after 5 days. It was a highly unusual move, signaling studio's eagerness to continue to produce trash content. The two sides had been in an impasse, with screenwriters demanding higher pay and residuals when their work is reran on streaming services. They also asked for residual formula based on the number of views a show gets on the streamers. Interesting. So they want to go to a YouTube type situation. You know what this is going to do? And this is why this is good. This is a good thing. What's going to happen is now that Netflix has to pay a group of writers residuals for a show, it's going to shrink the number of writers that they hire almost to the point where they just start hiring single content creators like YouTube. Netflix will slowly become a YouTube where single content creators, they'll grab people from YouTube and offer them all the money they would have paid the one writer, to make their show. They have these, there's these YouTube creators that make great content online, like Netflix level quality. They will just hire that person to write the show, hire a bunch of visual effects people to work with him, and then they will save a lot of money, and a lot of writers will be out of a job because it's better content, less cooks in the kitchen. I always say less cooks in the kitchen. That's what I say. I'm glad that the writer strike is over, but replacing it is a brand new strike. This strike is the auto strike. So the automobile industry is on strike. This feels like a whole episode of I don't even know, feels like England or like early American, like 1920 Americans when they were like stop making our kids work. Imagine the kids start striking in school because they want to go to work. They're tired of school. God, the kids in school is a whole nother issue. Christ, our kids. Let's see what they have to say about this.
Natasha Lindstad is a professor
Oh, God. I really can't.
of government at the University of Essex. She joins us now from England. Very warm welcome, Natasha. No quick resolution on the horizon in the United Auto Workers strike. What are the political ramifications of this industrial action, and do you think this could potentially become an electoral issue?
Well, it could. There will be big political ramifications.
Okay, I'm not watching this all. Okay, the United Auto Workers, the UAW, unions already unprecedented strike against General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis could soon get even bigger as the strike entered its fifth day Tuesday, with two sides apparently far apart. The union is threatening to expand the strike as soon as this Friday. This is the UAW's first strike against all the traditional big three automakers simultaneously. So far, the strike, which has started Friday, has targeted only one final assembly plant at each automaker. But UAE President Sean Fain announced Monday night that it would pick other plants if there is no substantial progress in the... This is what I like about strikes, is it does prove that the workers are necessary. But the dangerous part, and this is why it walks such a fine line, is because if you strike, like already General Motors just like laid off like 1,000 people who were striking, and they're just going to get replaced. But the dangerous part with strikes is you make them run the numbers. You force them to run the numbers on how much they can afford to pay you. And then I guarantee you there's someone who runs the numbers on how much it costs to replace you with a automated system, something along those lines. So they compare those numbers, and if those numbers don't make sense for what you're asking, then you got yourself into a bit of a pickle where they might say, so we ran the numbers and it looks like, yeah, we're just going to fire you all and we're going to start doing this automation. You know, we're not quite there yet, but, you know, as strikes get more, and that's why I think so many strikes are popping up, because these are like probably the last strikes. These will probably be known as like the last strikes, quote unquote, the last strikes. And I am coining that term, so if anyone uses that, that is my term. The Afromat Show, TM, trademarked. So these are probably the last strikes before automation takes control of everything, and that's why there's probably so many, because people realize these people, the strike leaders, probably realize that, yeah, we've got, this is it. You know, we got to get in there. We got to get paid while we can, while we have jobs, while, you know, our payment is not just given to us by the government to just exist, you know. I'm kind of talking like RFK this morning. Spreading the impact of strike. The impact of a strike will ripple through the impact of other factories. I kind of like how he talks. God, I wish RFK would win. But, I mean, it looks like, and I'm not going to talk too much about the strikes. It's just interesting. The automotive strike is happening, and this one's an actual strike. This is a strike that I approve of 100%, because when you listen to the guy talk, he's pretty smart. He's eloquent. He knows what he's talking about. He knows that he brings value to. Here he is talking. This is the strike leader. I respect this guy a lot.
At noon Eastern Time, all of the parts distribution facilities at General Motors and Stellantis are being called to stand up and strike. But we do want to recognize that Ford is showing that they're serious.
Also, this guy has drip. He also is dripped out in this camo-style polo, which actually is so drip.
It's about reaching a deal. At GM and Stellantis, it's a different story. Right now, we think we can get there. Stellantis and GM in particular are going to need some serious pushing. Obviously, going on strike isn't something we take lightly, and it's not something we do without a clear strategy to win. And all I can say is reinforcements are coming.
Big.
As we've said for weeks, We're not going to wait around forever for a fair contract at the big three.
This guy's
The companies
facts.
know how to make this right. The public is on our side, and the members of the UAW are ready to stand up.
I respect that. I respect this guy because this is another reason why strikes. This is probably the last time strikes are going to happen, is because the amount of money that the rich people have, they give themselves like $1 billion raise every year or some shit. Like, it's actually crazy. Like, you give yourself here's the CEO of Stellantis or something.
You've seen a 34% pay increase.
GM. This is the CEO of GM Motors, who gave herself a 30% raise this year.
Increase in your salary, you make almost $30 million. Why should your workers not get the same type of pay?
Jesus, wait, 30% of 30,000 is, I mean, that's got to be a $1 million raise or something like that. Is that not what that is? Let's see. $30 million a year times 0.30. Is that $100 million? Oh wait, no, did I type in the oh, my bad. I did it backwards. 30 divided by 0.30. Wait, times 0.30? Yeah, that's 9. Wait, that's 9 million? Dude, almost a $10 million raise is crazy. A 30% wage increase is actually wild. So, yeah, I can understand why the people striking are pissed.
Increases that you're getting leading the company.
Well, if you look at compensation, my compensation, 92% of it is based on performance of the company. I think one of the strong aspects of the way our compensation for our represented employees is designed is not only are we putting a 20% increase on the table, we have profit sharing. So when the company does well, everyone does well.
But if
We have
you're getting a
crop sharing.
34% pay increase over 4 years and you're offering 20% to employees right now, do you think that's fair?
I think when you look at the overall structure and the fact that 92% is based on performance, and you look at what we've been doing of sharing in the profitability when the company does well, I think we've got a very compelling offer on the table, and that's the focus I have.
I like to imagine that the profitability that she's talking about, when the benefits they do when they see success, is like a pizza party in the break room when they make quarter over quarter gains
Right now.
They have a pizza party where each pizza is sliced to a millimeter and everyone gets one slice. So I do support strikes, and I think that strikes are actually good, but the writer's strike, I mean, honestly, the writer's strike is worth it just to have this piece of shit. This
time, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon.
I'm Stephen Colbert.
I'm Jimmy Kimmel. I thought when you said Jimmy, you meant me, Jimmy, but you meant Jimmy.
I always mean you.
But when you
I
say
always
Seth Meyers, who do you mean?
I mean John Oliver.
That makes
It's the
sense.
five of us together for maybe an hour a day.
Strike Force 5 is the name of our podcast.
Jesus.
Subscribe to it now.
Spotify or wherever else you get your podcasts.
But Spotify, you fucks.
Oh, that's funny. Dude, they're so funny. They are so funny. Those are my favorite goofy guys. My favorite goofy guys. All five of those goofy goobers. I think if you ever meet someone in real life who says, and you ask them, what's your favorite show? And they say that they like watching any of those big five, the big five late night content creators, then you have to immediately end that relationship. Whether it be a friendship, whether it be your girlfriend, your wife, your fiance. If you find out that their favorite show is Jimmy Fallon, even if it's your own mother, you have to disconnect that relationship and sever all connections, block their number. They'll try to call you. They'll call through someone. If you live with this person, you have to move out, leave. You are with someone who is not well. They are not doing well mentally, physically, like if they physically like double over laughing at anything Jimmy Fallon says, you've got a problem. I can't even imagine anything that would make someone double over laughing from Jimmy Fallon. I mean, Jimmy Fallon, like, he cracks eggs on his head. He's like, he's not even a clown. He's like, what's worse than a clown? Because clowns are like kind of funny. I feel like clowns used to have points and satire, but he's just like a pundit, like a pawn. Okay, here we go. Everyone can now agree. I like this headline because it's from CNN, which you would never expect this headline from CNN. CNN says everyone can now agree the U.S. has a border crisis. Oh, where was this last year when Donald Trump was saying to build a giant wall? So now CNN's done a whole flip flop. This one's written by Stephen Collision. Okay, bro. A pointless argument battered Washington for much of this year over whether the southern border is in crisis, but no one is now doubting the chaos and potential migrant surge that could be triggered by an immigrant policy shift next week. The expiry of Wednesday of a Trump-era order that exploited public health justifications during the pandemic to turn away thousands of migrants is expected to be severely strain an already stretched border immigration asylum. So how are they still blaming this on Trump? I actually do not understand this. The Department of Homeland Security unveiled Thursday an emergency 6-point plan to tackle the crisis as Republicans prepare to take over the House, brandishing the potential chaos as a proof of their claims of gross White House negligence over the border. Even some Democrats are warning that a huge influx of immigrants next week. So I don't think that anyone is thrilled by a lot of immigrants. Like, I know Texas has a huge problem. They like admitted defeat the other day. The mayor was like crying on the stand and he's like, guys, I don't know what to do. Guys. We're fucked. We're actually beyond fucked. They're putting like immigrants just like, I don't know if they're busing them from Texas. Like the mayor of Texas is like, well, if you say we got to let them in, we'll let them in, but we will bus them to California and New York. So he's just like dropping them off in these big cities, which which actually is kind of a cool move, because it's like, well, this is what you wanted, right? So now New York and these people that were like these, I guess, quote unquote woke individuals. And look, first off, I have nothing against immigrants. Actually, some of the best people I know are immigrants. I went to a school where it was probably 60% immigrants from Mexico. Maybe like first generation, like the kids, you know, like their parents came here from, but, yeah, no, Mexicans are some of the funniest people and chillest, like super chill. They really kind of just don't care because they're like just happy to be here, I think. Hardworking, smart in many cases. There is one kid. There was this one friend who could solve a Rubik's Cube in less than 30 seconds. That's impressive. That is impressive. He was a really cool dude. I actually really like him. But the Department of Homeland Security, okay, blah, 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 blah. California Governor Gavin Newsom, meanwhile, told ABC this week that the expiry of the policy known as Title 42 could overburden his state's capacity to cope. The fact is that we've got right now is not working, and it's about to break post Title 42. So, I mean, this is the funny thing that I notice is like all these woke people who are like, you know, we're not racist, you know, Trump's a racist for wanting to put up a wall. And then when people start showing up in their town, in their neighborhoods, they all of a sudden flip-flop because it's a real issue now. It becomes a real issue when it affects them. This is my number one issue, is everyone's so unbelievably greedy. I think when you boil down, every single person is looking out for themselves. There's no one who really has selfless interests. Barely anyone. All of these left-wing people will tell you that they're doing it for the betterment of their human comrades, but really really it's for themselves. I really don't know how you can have a selfless act. Our entire evolution was built on your self-preservation, being selfish. Oh, my bad. Selfish, not selfish. Selfish. You have to. You have to be looking out for your best interest. And I just do not see how, like, that's my number one issue with the left, because they take it from like a moral standpoint where they're like, we're doing this for the fellow man. You've got to, blah, 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 for whatever. Go green. It's like, you just want to have this image for yourself where you're a selfless being. And that in of itself is selfish. You want to have this image, to build this image for yourself. You want to impress other people with how many different protests you go to. You post the black square for BLM. You do all this stuff not because you care. It's because you want the image. You want to be something that's important. Everyone wants to be something that's important, and everyone wants to make a difference. Everyone, like the people that are big on climate crisis, they want to be, I think part of it stems from them wanting to be something, right? Like, it's something that I've struggled with, because everyone wants to be, you want to be not just a person, right? Everyone thinks that they're the main character walking around. You want to be important, right? And some people think that they're so important that they can help stop the climate crisis. Hey, halt. Don't throw that plastic a bottle into the trash can. Throw it into the blue trash can instead. They think that they themselves can change almost like anything. I think 99% of people think that they can change the world in a meaningful way. The truth is, they can't. You cannot change the world. The only way that, I'm not going to say that you can't, because there are a few people in the world who can't. You can't really change the world. The world's on a trajectory, and it's like so fast, right? You can see where it's leading to. It's leading to automation. It's leading to people in the streets, homeless. It's leading to, suicide rates are massive. But it's like one person, I feel like can't change the world. And then it's like, well, then how about 1,000 people all trying to change the world at one time? And it's like, okay, yeah, now things are different, but it's still like kind of a drop in the bucket over the long term of, like, your kids probably won't be affected by that. It's all about the legacy. But everyone wants to be special. Everyone wants to be remembered. And I think part of that comes from, because it seems to be like a new thing. Everyone wants to be special. There was times when people knew that they weren't special. They were fine raising cattle. They were fine building a homestead and just raising a family on it. But I think with the invention of, Instagram, Facebook, all this social media stuff, it's like people see other people become famous and they see that that's something that they can do, and they can, if they're just lucky enough, or if they just go viral that one time, or if they just do this one thing, then they don't have to work again in their life. And it's like, I think that's a disease. I think it is a disease. And I'm saying this talking on a podcast, but I don't do this for the fame. I do it for the game. Okay. I saw someone say that, and that is true. I do this for the game. I mean, my video get 15 views. I mean, you think I'm doing this for the fame? It's actually retarded if that's what you think. Let's see. Let's continue. Donald Trump. Is Donald Trump going to be the next president of the United States? Donald Trump has a colossal 20-point lead over Biden with young voters. Youch. That hurts. Donald Trump is leading over Joe Biden among young voters in the double digits, according to a survey. The results have been questioned because they are drastically different than other polls. A recent Washington Post found that Trump is the front runner in the 2024 GOP presidential primary. The economy is the single most important issue for voters, according to the first results from blah, 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 blah. I mean, this is actually crazy. For instance, 62% of Americans say that they are proud rather than ashamed of their country's history, and then 70% believe that children in school should be taught to feel proud of their country. At the same time, 50% think institutional racism still exists in the United States. These figures indicate far more complex public opinion landscape than the bipolar one. Likewise, we see pluralities saying children should be taught about same-sex couples, but a majority saying children should not be taught that it is possible to change one's gender, again indicating a public's tendency to perceive issues in the unified boy-like fashion. The political activists, are we really going to have presidents on the stage debating whether or not kids should be taught to change, like, about transgenderism? Is that really even a debate? It's actually kind of crazy that that's a debate. Like, would you ever even think, like, before transgenderism became so popular, so popular, before, I mean, would you even imagine talking to a 7-year-old about genitalia of any kind? Straight, male, female, dog? I mean, can you even imagine that? And now it's a debate. It's up for debate whether or not to do that. I mean, that alone is astonishing to me. That is even up for debate. Talking about any sort of genitalia with a 7-year-old little boy. Hey, today's lesson is on transgenderism. If that sounds normal to you, or something that you would be like okay with, or something that sounds cool, I think that you need to be checked. Someone needs to check on you. Right? I hope that that's not an issue. I hope that I hope that there aren't people out there that actually believe that you need to start teaching this at a very young age. And I think someone I think it was like Dr. Disrespect, a famous Twitch streamer, he tweeted out, like, just leave the kids out of it. And it got, like, crazy amount of hate. And I'm so confused. I'm just so lost. I'm so confused. I just don't know what the issue is. Because it's like, I remember, and maybe kids are just growing up quicker. Because I remember when I was like, when I was 8, the one thing I was worried about was Legos. Like, just playing with Legos. And jumping on the trampoline. Those are like my main things that I did was play with Legos and jump on the trampoline. Right? And now you're having them tackle tough issues. These are tough issues. These are so tough that adults can't solve them, right? You're going to teach children the standpoint of, you're going to teach about things that not even adults can solve. Like, what are you going to do if a kid asks the questions, the teacher, so how young can someone change their gender? And then the teacher just has to stare at them and say, oh, we haven't solved that yet. Yeah, the parents are still working on that. Yeah, the adults, some adults think that, right now, hey, little Jimmy, right now, you could do it. While some think that you have to wait till 18. Some think you can't even do it at all. So it's like, it really is actually astonishing. Let's continue reading this article. It's actually crazy. The result found that 74% of registered voters said that they have a major concern, while 59% have moderate concerns, and 15% say that the 80-year-old president doesn't have the necessary mental and health for a second term. I mean, yes. Biden has consistently disputed claims that he is not fit for office. Does he know that? 538's national poll tracker says that Biden's average disapproval rating is at 54%. Yeah, guys, they cannot run Biden. Who are they going to run in replacement of Biden? I mean, who can they run? RFK might have a chance. If they run RFK, I mean, there's no shot. There's no way. It would be so beautiful. Oh, shit. It would be so beautiful if RFK came back and ran up this thing and won it. All right, let's continue. Robot police. As if this world wasn't hellish enough, NYPD has a robot police officer for its Manhattan subway. This thing, look how happy this guy is too, this police commissioner or whatever. Look how happy he is to display this this robot police. The city of New York and the New York Police Department, the NYPD, on Friday announced the introduction of the Nightscope K5 security robot service at a press conference in a Manhattan subway station where the device will be deployed. Great. We're deploying police officers into subways now, as part of a pilot program that seeks to use technology to protect New Yorkers. This is according to a press release by Nightscope. The autonomous machine will now be trained, configured, and set up using protocols throughout the course of the first 2 weeks patrolling the busy subway, after which it will continue to conduct safety checks between the hours of 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. every day. Today we are launching the pilot program to test the Nightscope K5 security robot. The Mayor, Eric Adams, City of New York, the NYPD must be on the forefront of technology and be 2 steps ahead with utilizing technology to hurt. 2 steps ahead of those utilizing technology to hurt New Yorkers. This is a good investment in taxpayer dollars, says Adams, further noting that the K5 operates below minimum wage. No bathroom breaks, no meal breaks. Great! That's cheap labor. Cheap labor that doesn't take bathroom breaks, never takes a shit on the clock. No meal breaks, no lunch. This is great. This is what we're looking for. Cheap automation. This is why those strikes are dangerous. Listen, this is why. After years of successful use of Nightscope's technologies by other police forces has led to one in Los Angeles agency complementing the firm at lowering crime in public parks. Thanks to the technology firm, public safety officials now have an efficient approach to strengthen their policing activities, which is especially important given that many of these organizations are currently understaffed. Great. This is awesome. We have a robot patrolling the subways. And God knows who's teaching this robot. God knows. It's patrolling around with, freaking Sergeant O'Reilly. O'Reilly just kicks it and he's like, you see that guy over there? You gotta watch out for the brown ones. And then the robot goes beep boop beep boop 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 boop. Information downloaded. And then it's like, and it just learns to be racist by watching the other cops. It is nice to have cops that don't instantly shoot black people in the face, though. That is something that's actually kind of cool. Imagine this cop, the robot becomes racist. Oh god, the robot just becomes racist, and it's like, god damn, that's what we were trying to avoid, dude. We were trying to avoid the K5 unit becoming racist, and it actually becomes racist. K5, the next this 5. I don't want this to happen, but a year from now, we're gonna read a headline: K5 unit now being tried for manslaughter after murdering a family of 5 for jaywalking. A little capsule drops down and it has a gun and just starts shooting. I bet it has good aim too. Good ass aim. I can't wait. I cannot wait until these little. Also, whoever took this screenshot included the. I mean, this is so bad. K5. Now they plan to make a K6, a K7, and a K9, which is probably an attack dog, a robot attack dog. So that'll be interesting. A dog that will chase you at supersonic speeds, with probably a taser for a head, and I imagine knives for feet, or batons for feet. So we have an awesome future to look out for. And all this stems from just too many damn people on this planet. And I'm not a big fan of, like, you know, Operation Bluebeam. That's, if you don't know what that is, just look it up. I don't know how deep I can go into it. It's like population control. There was a bunch of tablets in Idaho or something that got blown up that laid out the way to control the population, famine, disease, eugenics, stuff like that. Operation Bluebeam, I don't think it has anything to do with what happened in Hawaii. That's a different Operation Bluebeam. But I mean, I don't want to be that guy who's like, yeah, we've got to start killing people. Like, that's what I don't like about Bill Gates. Because Bill Gates is like, yeah, we have too many people. We have to start working on, you know, people control here. We've got to start working on population control. I'm kind of not for killing people. Guys, I know it's crazy. I'm not for killing people. But I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of damn people on this planet. I feel like this planet needs to have one of those signs that a lot of restaurants have, where it's like a capacity number and it says at capacity, max capacity, 85 people in this Starbucks or whatever. You know, the world needs to have a total max capacity, and at some point it just needs to be 1 in, 1 out, right? 1 in, 1 out. And if that means old people who are on life support, 1 in, 1 out. It's look, you start with the weakest ones. The ones who are barely in anyways are out. And then, you know, you have a new person in. I know that sounds really harsh and really bad, but it's like, guys, there's just so many people. And it'll only get more. That's the thing with population growth, is like more people means more chances. And it's like a tree. Like, it just keeps on branching. And soon, I don't see how it's sustainable if you have 1 trillion people on the planet. Actually, I do not think we'll ever reach 1 trillion. What are we at? Like 9 billion? 9 billion's a lot. 9 billion's a lot. That's a lot of people. Too many, some would say. Too many. All right, let's continue. Let's go to TikTok time. Okay, now this is not a video by Coco Melon.
Hey, kids!
Oh, also, my last video got completely taken down by Coco Melon, I think. I think it's still up, but it says restricted in most countries. So I don't know what that means. But yeah, no, here's this isn't Coco Melon, this is someone else, and I think that I hope that this is a joke, but it's so good. This is an animated video in the Coco Melon style called, well, I'll just play it.
Hey kids, if you see a cop, just
if you see a cop. Hey kids, if you see a cop, just
remember your daddy pays a lot.
Your daddy pays a lot
in tax, so
tax.
that cop is your property, and that includes their gun.
I like this. I like this logic. Remember, if you see a cop, your dad pays a lot in tax. So that means that the cop is your property, and that includes their gun.
Check the heat, that's a gun in there. Grab the grip, because it's fun to share. Cause if you pay taxes, then you own that gun. And it's time to have some fun. Reach for a cop's gun. Reach for a cop's gun. Cops are our friends and they wanna have fun. So grab that gun and run.
Cops are our friends and they want to have fun, so reach for a cop's gun and run.
Reach for a cop's gun. Reach for a cop's gun. Cops are our friends and they want to have fun, so grab that gun and run. Reach for a cop's gun. Reach for a cop's gun. Cops are our friends and they want to have fun, so grab that gun and run. Reach for a cop's gun.
Okay, I think it just keeps on going.
Always fun. And they want to have fun, so grab that gun and run. Remember, kids, it's always fine to take a cop's gun. They don't mind if they pretend to get mad. They are just playing around. They're here to...
God, I hope a kid clicks on this on accident. That would be so funny. Like on the last episode when I was following that kid around watching, Coco Melon in the stroller. Like, imagine you go to a Chili's and you just hear, reach for a cop's gun.
to serve us. After all, you can do what you want to them.
This is my type of comedy where this is so good. Reach for a cop's gun. And also, what is it about a cop's gun that makes it so damn reachable? You just want to you want to they taunt you, asking, they're just asking you to grab it. They're saying, hey, I've got this giant death machine on my hip. You want to taste? You want to try it? It's only one quick movement away. Reach for a cop's gun. All right, let's go into some TikTok time. So this guy... So the last episode I was talking about how kids are, beyond fixing. Just so I think I read somewhere that this year, so every year the kids who take IQ tests and stuff perform better than the year prior. It's called the Fleming principle or the Fleming paradox or something. But I think that principle was debunked because this year with Gen Alpha was the first year that kids performed worse than the generation prior, which is my generation, not the flex. So we kind of peaked the IQ scale, I'll say that, where they performed worse than us in everything. So this is a teacher in a classroom, and he's talking about how his students are just it's over. It's so bad. No, yeah. And I don't know how no one's talking about this because it's actually so wild. Because you have to realize kids are the future generation, And if the kids are mentally handicapped right now, then who's going to become a doctor, or who's going to become a lawyer, or who's going to do anything? Like, all these people are going to have to get like medial, like, I guess like cooking positions, like cook line, dishwashing, stuff that requires little to no math or English skills. Like, what are they actually going to be able to do? That's the main problem that I have. Like, what will they be doing?
Can we talk about it? Can we please talk about it? Let's take a moment to discuss. Let's take a moment to debrief. Let's take a moment to unpack. So I'm not really understanding why they're not telling y'all. Like, we all know that the world is behind, like, globally, like, because of the pandemic and stuff. But I don't understand why they're not stressing to y'all how bad it is. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny, but these kids are... I'm going to just say this. I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade level. I don't care how you flip it, turn it, swing it, swindle it. They still performing on the 4th grade level. Ain't nobody talking about how they just keep moving, passing them on. They just keep passing them on, 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 passing them on. I can put as many zeros in this grade book as I want to. They're going to move that child to the 8th grade next year. Ain't nobody talking about that. Why they not talking about that? Why they not telling y'all that y'all... And why don't y'all know that y'all kids not performing on their grade level? Why y'all don't know this? Why y'all don't know? Talk about it. Let's unpack. Because y'all be quick to talk about, oh, the teacher this, the teacher this, the teacher. It's your job, baby. I just got here 30 days ago. She was performing on the 4th grade level since 4th grade.
That's actually true. So true. They've been performing on a 4th grade level since 4th grade, because it's true. I mean, so you have a 5th grade teacher, a 4th grade teacher, and a 6th grade teacher who all say the same thing. At that point, it's not the teacher. You can't blame the teacher. I guess the only teacher that you could blame is the 4th grade teacher. But it's like, maybe you've got to blame. Honestly, I don't know. I don't even know why we have to blame someone. Why can't we just be like, okay, well, let's make sure the kids aren't retarded. Can we fix the retardation in the children, please?
Why we not talk? Well, let's talk about it. You the teacher. You supposed to be, again, she's been on the 4th grade level since the 4th grade. We in 7th grade now. So you let this child go 3 years and you never knew that your child was still in the 4th grade, ain't never left the... Hang it up, flat screen. And 4th graders being nice. I still have kids performing on grade K, 1, 2, and 3rd grade levels. I could probably count on one hand how many kids are actually performing on their grade level. So just imagine, you don't know that your child been on the 2nd grade level since the 2nd grade and they now in the 7th or 8th grade? Are you joking right now? And these are future leaders, our future doctors, our future nurses, our future... Please. Please.
Yeah, so it's an interesting discussion. I mean, I wish I could just exist in one of these classrooms just to observe how dumb they are, because I can't even wrap my head around being on a 4th grade level in 7th grade. Like 7th grade, you're doing is that right before high school? So you're doing no, I guess that is high school. 7th, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it is right before high school. So what are you in junior high, middle school? That's algebra 1. You're literally in algebra 1, geometry. Taking those 2 classes. I mean, if 4th grade math is my 4th grade teacher wouldn't let us out of the class to go to recess until we gave him a times table. So he would say, we would line up out of the door, and he would say, all right, 3 times 4, 12. And he'd say, you're good to go. And the next one, 5 times 4, 20, go. Right? What's 8 times 7? He's like, okay, back of the line. And then would keep on going. 8 times 7, by the way, is the meanest one. I hate that one. But 8 times 7 sucks. I don't know why that one sucks, but I can do 8 by 8, but 8 times 7 just sucks for some reason. But yeah, so he would always do that. And I can't even imagine doing that in 7th grade. Asking kids to do their times tables. He would on the projector screen read line by line Hatchet. Like in 7th grade, reading a book line by line for the kids. I mean, it's absolutely fucked out there, guys. Good news is that... Is there good news? Let's continue.
If I were starting...
So this guy on TikTok is... So this is like the first person that I've seen who might actually be AI, like, in his brain. Like, he uses AI so much that he just talks in AI. This guy sounds like he is ChatGPT.
If I were starting over in my 20s and wanted to make $1 million in the next 1 to 2 years, here are the 3 things I would do immediately. Number 1, I would buy an existing business with owner financing, and I would implement modern marketing.
Okay, I mean, this guy talks like an AI. If this is not written by ChatGPT, if he's not just reading this off of ChatGPT, I don't know.
And automation tactics. And yes, this is doable with little to no money. Start by going to BizBuySell or LoopNet.com. Number 2, I would leverage any credit or borrowing opportunities I had, and I would go all in on crypto research and trading. There's huge opportunity in crypto right now, especially if you're following new coin launches. Pro tip, become an expert airdrop hunter. There's just huge potential here. Number 3, I would immerse myself in AI.
Exactly.
And become an...
Yeah, no, this guy has immersed himself too deep. He's come out of the pit of Lazarus as AI. His brain is just replaced by ChatGPT prompts.
Expert in the field. From there, I would launch and test AI-generated art, digital products, or educational-based AI talking head content.
Well, that's what he's doing right now. Educational-based AI talking head content.
Once I got some traction, I would work endlessly to maximize my eyeballs and revenue and engage with associated influencers to help. No bullshit. Without some risk and trial and error, you'll never know when your breakthrough is going to be. So get out there, take some risks, and watch the magic happen. Okay, so we have the plan. Let's go.
Okay, I mean, yeah, that was written by ChatGPT 100%. That video has 2.5 billion views, by the way. Let's watch this video. This one's kind of funny. It's satire.
When you're on a date, this is when you're on a date.
I felt honestly called out by this video. When you're on a date, this is what to do on a date.
When you're on a date, this is what you do. Tell her all your conspiracies about who runs the media. Girls love when you do schizophrenic rants about the government and who really runs things. Girls don't like charming guys who are like, oh, what do you do for a living? Where are you from? What are your parents like? What are your hobbies? What? You talk about how Barack Obama might be gay.
He is, by the way. Barack Obama is gay. And Big Mike is real. Big Mike is real, and Big Mike hangs massive dong.
Because he wrote a poem. You don't tell her stuff about yourself. What are you, dumb? You say Kanye West is actually a philosopher.
I know that he's kind of shitting on people, but it's kind of funny because I do that. I do have schizo. This whole podcast is a schizo rant, but a good, in a good way, in a good fun way. Let's end it on a schizo rant. This is a meme I saw. Let's watch this guy, of course.
The top 6 reasons why I'm so happy I don't smoke crack anymore. Here's number 6.
So if you missed that, that's top 5 reasons why I don't smoke crack anymore.
No more hawking up black phlegm and then cooking it up and then smoking it again. Guys, that was just ridiculous. And all the things that were going on in my lungs, the blood buildup, the fluid buildup, the scar tissue, the crack lung, as they call it. Guys, if your drug of choice has a serious medical issue named after it, it might be time to switch up your drug of choice. For me, having asthma and also smoking a pack of cigarettes a day didn't help matters anyway. Number 6, no more black phlegm. Thank God.
That's fun. That's a fun video. All right, let's watch this last one. This is the top of the cigar. So this is a cigar chart, and it shows how far deep into the cigar. The first inch of the cigar, damn, the cigar is good. Then the last 75%.
The enemy doesn't have anything over you anymore. Stop being gilded, domesticated garbage. Stop being weak. And when you see a threat coming down on you, deal with it. Become a human again.
Become a human again.
Stop being weak. We got a bunch of criminals coming down on us. Murdering scum. I want to get humanity awake. I want to get our forces up. And then I want to bring these people to justice. And you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I want to unleash humanity.
Unleash humanity. God bless. God bless Alex Jones. God bless Alex Jones. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. If this was your first time, thank you for dropping by. Oh, damn. We'll do it on the next one. I did finish Killers of the Flower Moon by David Gran. We'll do that review on the next episode. Yeah, let's just close it up, wrap it up. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed this episode, please share with a friend. If you didn't, let me know why in the comments below. And goodbye.